Where are we joining from? I am joining from Canada. I am in Brampton, Ontario. Could you try again? So where are we joining from? Where is it? Calgary? Somebody's in Calgary. Somebody's joining from Toronto. Is it Toronto or Toronto? Toronto. Okay. Okay, so I would take it as Toronto. Markham, you're welcome. Yeah, so we definitely have people from different locations. We're glad to have you all on board. And just a quick one somebody
Oh,
from Manchester.
yeah,
Or
someone said he's joining from Calgary, Canada, but my spirit is in Japan.
As in, okay. So yes, we have Edmonton, we have Manchester. Hello, how you doing today? Who is the person from the UK? Nice, nice, nice. Thank you all so much for joining in. We're really happy to have you. You are the reason why we're here. I mean, we wouldn't put something together and then nobody would show up. That would just be totally. So thank you all for, squeezing time out of your busy schedules. It's been a long week for everyone. Busy, tired. It's Thursday, but it doesn't even feel like it. Like, tomorrow it feels like work is waiting for us for tomorrow. But yes, thank you all so much for coming in. And for if this is your first time of being a part of a WinTech event, I just wanted to give a brief description of WinTech and what it represents. WinTech, of course, as the name implies, is women in technology. It is a community of women that have come together, women tech enthusiasts that have come together to share ideas, to share knowledge. And it's just a safe space for anyone that is interested. You don't even have to be working in tech, right? As long as you have an interest in it, you definitely find so many useful resources that would see you through your journey. If you're looking to transition or if you're just looking to get knowledge, WinTech is a great place to be a part of, okay? And we definitely have our social media channels. We have the WhatsApp group where you can be a part of and, stay updated on everything that's going on. And we do things like this. The last time we had a session just about 2 weeks ago. Our speaker was Ngozi. She's a VP, and she's a well-known personality in the tech world. And then she was here last week to talk to us about how we can excel and how we can grow in our careers. And it was an amazing session. And of course, we now have this one today where we have come together to talk about cloud computing, which we know it's something that so many people are interested in now. It's not a new thing. I mean, everybody has a phone. Everybody has definitely encountered some kind of cloud computing of whatever sort. And so today we just wanted to dive deep into that area and of course, get to learn about it, how it works, and see how we can take advantage of that aspect, right? And so we have Michael here today. Michael, you're most welcome. Hi, Michael. Michael is going to be our facilitator for today. Of course, he's an expert in cloud computing. Michael is a product and technology leader with over 20 years of experience in the tech industry. Wow, that's a long time. Specializing in fintech, he knows about cloud computing, product management, and he has led so many successful projects in companies like Ericsson, Google, Reach, and he's co-founded a fintech as well. That's amazing. As an enterprise IT architect, he has track record in managing large-scale projects, optimizing cloud infrastructure, everything all to drive business growth. And he definitely has the education to show for it. He has advanced degrees in technology, business. He's a published author. We would want to hear about your book, okay? And he's a researcher. He's a serial tech entrepreneur, definitely known for his expertise and his insights in any projects that he's part of. So you're welcome, Michael. We're happy to have you here this evening.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I didn't hear a round of applause.
Oh my goodness. Round of applause, please.
Ooh!
Yes, so
Yes, 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 yes.
I
I'm
love that,
sorry. My
Michael.
bad. That was me. That's on me. I'm really sorry about that. Round of
Uh,
applause for Michael, please. Please.
thank,
Yes, yes, yes.
um, thank you very much, Wendy and the team for inviting me. Wendy knows I like to talk about the cloud, both the physical one and the invisible one. So, I'm glad to be here. Um, and in the few short time that we're going to have together for everyone on call, I don't know where your journey is with the cloud, but I want it to be a little bit interactive, right? And just, let's make this session that session where you ask all those questions that you've been thinking about asking about this thing called cloud, right? Not necessarily as a career, but it's already in everything that we do, right? So you've probably been hearing it from your colleagues, in tech or not in tech. So, ask me all those questions. My slide today is just to introduce you to the landscape, right? Talk about what it is, where women fit in, where everyone is trying to fit in, where the industry is going, and, should you take it serious or not, right? And that's my goal for the evening. But like I said, as much as possible, I wanted to, I want to be sure that I'm answering your questions, not just what I want to talk to you about, but answering your questions before you leave here today. Let me see. I'm going to share my screen now and just thumbs up if you can see something. Cool.
Yes, we can.
Very well, it's
Perfect.
shine.
All right. Um, Adama already read a lot of things about me, but I think the biggest part of this for me is the fact that for anybody here who has used Expedia or you use Lemfi, Expedia is that platform that I co-founded that does almost that and a lot more.
Yes.
And I would send a link for everyone to register. Well, watch out for your registration. Um, but it is fully deployed in the cloud, right? And that gives me that breadth, right? Because I'm a consumer of the cloud. I'm a company owner building on the cloud, and I've been an employer working with the cloud for a vendor, and that's why I think I'll be able to answer all your questions, which I really hope you're gonna ask. But this is WinTech, and before tech, there's women. And I really want to ask this question. If technology could solve one problem for you today, what would it be? Everyone should be able to say something. If technology, all those dreams that you've been having that I
Yes.
wish they just made something that can, oh yeah, let's go. Let's go. Put it
I
in
would
the
like to
chat.
go first.
Oh,
I,
okay.
I,
Tell
I
us.
want, I can technology please just create my meal plan and tell me what I'm going to eat every day? Because every day that question of what are we eating today?
Oh, so for you, the preparing is not the problem. You just want something to suggest.
Yes, suggestion.
AI will do that one for you. Yours is easy.
No, but AI still brings me the same choices. I want something different.
And we have to put in your history into it, then it will suggest for you. So we've not been
Okay,
doing it right.
okay,
So don't worry. We can solve
okay.
that. Don't worry.
Got it, got it.
Okay, so we can see someone requesting for a perfect husband.
Ah,
Okay.
Yes,
yeah.
and we have another person saying tech should pay my bills. I am tired.
Well, we can solve that in a way, right? You just have to also get into cloud, make that six figure, and you solve that yourself. But not a bad one. We
Exactly.
can get to it. We can get to it. We can get to it. And one of the reasons why I asked this, apart from it being an icebreaker, is just cloud is actually a solution to some of the problems we've had in the last 2 decades. And that is why it's with us today. Just the same way the internet came and people didn't understand it at first, and eventually it is everything today, right? The cloud has come in and it's becoming that for us. But people still ask, what is the cloud? And we still see our leaders, telling us that they put it somewhere there in the cloud. I would say cloud is like renting a space on someone else's laptop or computer, but you have access to it every time you need it. So imagine my computer right now, you have 10 gig inside and you can use it anytime you want without having to worry about where the laptop is, without having to worry about the internet. having access to the laptop. You just know anytime you need it, you can get it. You don't own it, but you own it. The cloud is like that. And I'll also like to use the idea of ride sharing, right? You can buy a Ferrari for 400,000 and then keep paying it for the next 25 years. Or you can go to Turo and just rent a Ferrari when you need one, right? That is cloud computing for tech. That is really what it looks like. To say, hey, sometimes I don't need everything. Sometimes I'm not sure if I want everything, but I get to use it and I get to use the best of it. So the real question is, when we talk about cloud, what is this thing that we are borrowing or we are keeping, out there? And so if I have a full definition, I'll say, cloud computing is the delivery of computing service, and that's the big word there. In computing, depending on who you are talking to, we have software developers, we have network, we have security, but all of these things that make computing services work, servers, storage, computers, databases, softwares. Today, we're adding artificial intelligence to it over the internet. And that's the big thing there, right? Over the internet. Without the internet, it is not really cloud because it means I can't access it anywhere unless it's inside my basement. So over the internet is really where the whole idea of the cloud comes in because it means I can just reach out my hand and get it as long as I have access to the internet. Slow or fast, I have access to it. And when I have it and I have this, when I have these resources over the internet, what will they give me? Right? Speed of innovation. And I'm going to come to that in a bit. Flexible resources and really economics of scale. Look at a company like let's just look at my startup for example. If we wanted to when we wanted to start, we would at least need about $50,000 to $100,000 to set up all our infrastructure. And for a startup, just imagine that that is the biggest headache we have. And for those of you in product and in marketing, you know that infrastructure should be the last thing. How do you even sell what you want to sell should be your biggest headache. But in the 20 years ago, 15 years ago, because you have to worry about your infrastructure, it is a big deal, right? We had to focus on product, and when we have the product on ground, it took us less than 2 days to put everything on the internet and say, hey, we're live. Why? Because we have the power of the cloud. Another thing that it helps us to do is after 3 months, if this wasn't going to work, guess what? We're just going to shut it down. And we don't have to worry about buying, 100,000 worth of equipment that we now need to figure out a way to sell, right? And that's where we talk about the cloud being in an innovative angle and the economies of scale. And I'll put this to you. Look at any company you use right now. Just think about everything you do, where you watch your movies, where listen to your music. All these companies, Airbnb, that you're using that have just been around in the last 10 years. None of them have a physical computer. They are all in the cloud. Airbnb started in the cloud. Spotify started in the cloud. Even Shopify is in the cloud. Netflix is in the cloud. All of these guys are in the cloud. And that is how they have been able to continue to grow and do what they are doing. So, is it a growing industry? Yes. I just said guys from 10, 12 years ago, which means all of the companies today are in the cloud. ChatGPT, OpenAI, in the cloud. Anyone that is innovating anything today is in the cloud. The interesting thing is today, innovation and tech are kind of like together. Like most things, even if you're thinking about, how to sell that Gary, you have to think about how to market on Instagram. You have to start thinking about marketing. Tech has become interwoven with everything you do. And by the time you want to scale, you're going to have to build a software. You're going to host a CRM. Before you know it, you're back into the world of cloud, just even selling Gary, right? The opportunities in cloud also makes it diverse. And I know a lot of people think that, when we talk about cloud opportunities, we think it has to be a cloud architect. You have to be a guru in Python and Java and all of those things. In some sense, yes, but not entirely. The same way you and I cannot say we are both experts of the internet and not experts. The cloud is like that. The internet is what everybody uses, but it's not something we hold, right? Because the things on the internet that we use. You browse at home, you plug your computer, you plug your laptop. There are these other devices that are connected to the internet that you use. Your specialty is not on the internet. The specialty is on the Wi-Fi, the mobile phone, the computer, all of those things that connect to the internet. And that's the way cloud is. Your expertise is not really in the cloud. It is very big, but it is those businesses and those softwares and those activities that need to run on the cloud. That is where the expertise is. And that is why it is not entirely tech. It is just the business. If it is just the business, even the cloud providers today are targeting businesses. I'll give you an example. You all have heard about digitization of, paper stuff. Right now, you have an application where you can snap and it will read everything off the paper, right? You're using an application that is in the cloud. You don't need to learn how to write Python or C# to be able to do that. That's a business application in the cloud. But guess what? That could be a $1.3 billion project for digitizing the old library in, pick anywhere. And they will need people like us who know how to use the smartphone to snap and upload these things into it. You're technically working second level to the cloud, but you're not writing the code. And is it future proof? Yes. Google just released their results for last quarter and they made 11.3 billion of the cloud. And guess what? They are the third on the list. So if Amazon and Google and Microsoft are still making billions of dollars providing cloud services, it's because businesses are coming into the cloud on a daily basis. No one wants to invest. I don't want to start a startup today and invest, $50,000 to just set up my basement. You probably don't want to do that too. Why don't I spend that money on marketing to be sure that this thing really, really works? So there is opportunities there. And that is why, we advocate for people to jump into cloud now, because in the next few years, we're going to require that you know something about it. The same way you can apply for a job today and say, I don't know anything about the internet. You're not going to get that job because you're supposed to work from home. You're supposed to do a lot of things. You're supposed to just know how to connect and use these things. The cloud is going to be like that very soon. And if you look at the job outlook in 2024, everybody's saying it. CTOs were being asked, where would they want to hire? Cloud computing tops where they want to hire. Artificial intelligence and security, follows it. And you can say, well, that's normal. I hear that all the time. Think about it this way. If you and I are starting a company, let's assume we want to create a software that will do something. Now we know we can go to the cloud to deploy this thing. So that's good, right? So no infra, we're going to borrow the infra from the cloud. And then we're going to get some software guys together to build this thing. And after they build it, we're going to put it in the cloud. While they are building it, we don't have to worry about anything, whether it's running, whether it is down, whether it has errors, right? But the moment we deploy and go live, everything is like a baby. Now we have to watch it. Now we have to keep it. Now we have to feed it. Now we have to secure it. So the reason why security architects, machine learning and cloud, all go together is because once you put something in the cloud, it starts generating data. You need a data analyst, you need all these data guys. You need to start learning, you need to start putting intelligence to it to make it better. You need architects too. It's creating a whole ecosystem for itself. And that's why for every new company that goes into the cloud, there is always a need for every other thing around it, right? Do we have enough cloud people out there? Real experts? Don't quote me, but no, we don't. So this is why I'm an advocate today to say, please, please, pretty please, come and join us, right? Key roles that are in demand, you already know developers are there, cloud architects are also in there, and AI specialists are coming up. And I'm going to show you something about, AI and cloud, as I continue this. And Deloitte, everyone is talking about what's happening here. DevOps, digital transformation. Let me give an example. You have it takes at least 3 to 5 years for a company that is totally without a cloud to fully migrate to the cloud, even at 80%. Just pick any company right now that you think is old, even a Canada Rail, for example, Canada Trade Rail. Just imagine they want to go to the cloud. It's going to take them that much. So even on contract basis, someone will have actually done 5 years contract before they even decide, okay, we're not using the cloud anymore, right? It takes that much time. It's not something you do like this. And that's why everybody is happy to start with the cloud, because the transition to the cloud, takes a lot. Consultants make their money through that though, so which is good. You and I can, start up our own consulting agency and run with that. But why am I so happy being around cloud? It's because it keeps growing. It keeps growing. This is a non-American stat, which I'm sure will change by this time next year. But as at 2030, which is 6 years from now, this is a $3 trillion industry. And $3 trillion is, what the companies, when doing this start, this is what the companies will spend just to have, just to put things in the cloud. By stats, if they're going to spend this on infrastructure, it means they will spend at least times three of this on salaries. And that's where yours and mine paycheck will come from. If we're going to have about $10 trillion running around the cloud market, I want to make sure I'm getting some of that by learning now. And 2024, as you can see, we're already at, by the end of the year, almost there. Almost there. We should be able to get to, that 800 million mark, but we're going to surpass it with all the, what do I call it? With all the results that the cloud companies are bringing out. Microsoft is on positive, AWS is on positive, Google is on positive. These are the three biggest one. But even new guys are entering into the market. Oracle moved to cloud, so you can see Oracle Cloud. In the East, you have Alibaba, you have all of these guys, because new companies worldwide needs to be there. I'm sorry if you're expecting me to say there's one coming up from Africa. I don't know about that one yet.
We can start on now. We can
I'll
start.
have to I'll have to talk to T-Pain if he's going to dole out money for us to to
We won't
create.
have a choice. Yeah.
But talking about women, which are a powerful force, I think there's still a lot to do, for women. I don't know, we have strong women in tech. Some people always run away from tech, but tech is like everything else. Just dug it down, learn it, and be there.
Yeah.
But these statistics are actually overwhelming for me to say, even in 2023, 2024, you know, not America wise, we still have like 30% people in core tech. And that's why if you can go and look at Fortune 500 companies, you'll count at least 6, 7 men at C levels before you count a woman, right? Why is that? You guys will be the one to answer that for me. However, I think cloud computing is an avenue for people to jump in, because you being in cloud means that you kind of see everything, right? You see what's happening in security, you see what's happening in infra, you see what's happening in software. All your cost becomes cloud cost, which means accounting is also in the cloud now. You know more about accounting. It kind of gives you a 360 view of how the company runs, because everything runs through the cloud for the company. And I think we are looking for, a leader. A leader is somebody who understands how the company is run and understand how to work with people, right? So I think this is, it's an opportunity. In Canada, it says 16% of engineering positions, are still for women. I mean, I'm not saying everything has to be 50-50. I'm just saying there's opportunities. And for, having been with Google where DEI is a big thing, I always, encourage people, please apply. Don't worry, they might just be looking for a woman who has 50% of the knowledge rather than a man who has 100% of the knowledge. Get in and get to 100 while you're there, right? Don't say, I don't have everything yet. When you see these opportunities, it might be a DEI thing. Just apply. It's, they will take you for all of the opportunities that you have. Go in there, learn and grow, for any company that you want to go to. So It's available, especially because we're in Canada and North America. All medium-sized to big have DEI projects. They have they have quotas for these things, right? And if we don't apply, whether you talk about, BIPOC people, women people, if we don't apply, then they don't get to fill those roles because we don't get to apply. So I encourage us to apply as we learn, on this journey. As we learn on this journey. So, what do you need to do to tap into cloud? You're a business analyst today, you are a scrum master today, you are a customer service agent today. What do you need? Just like everything, we need to learn, right? We need to learn. Cloud is going to be a new skill to you. You just need to learn, right? And can you learn on your own? Absolutely, right? But if it's totally new, you might just need to be in, like a class settings where you're able to ask questions and, get these things in. So first, you need to get your skills in. Two, this is a wonderful industry. Let me put it this way. Because if you look at any university, you're not going to see cloud. Well, maybe it's coming up, but you don't readily see cloud as a bachelor's degree, course. It really starts at master's because there's some undertone that you need to have. And many of us, even though we are not in that field, you study chemistry, but you've been working for 10 years. There's a lot you know already. We just need to top something up for you. So getting certified is another thing that we encourage because the certification is like the school of the cloud. And that's where you go in to be able to learn about, what this thing is and how to use it for a business, your business, or the kind of company where you're working in. And this is not the last thing here I said is keep learning. For anyone around tech, you know that tech doesn't stop. It does not stop. It doesn't wait for us. It changes, it changes, it changes. Not in a bad way though. It's like many of us here, we graduated MTech, BTech, BSc. We have professors that studied in the 1970s, 1980s. You and I agree that sometimes we tell these people, you guys, your knowledge is obsolete. Come on, it's 30 years ago, and they want to prove some things. But sometimes they still tell us stuff that are relevant. And that means some things still pass through time. So when you have your base solid, no matter how fast technology runs, you're only building on top of the base you have. So you are in a better position than the next person who wants to start afresh. Starting now, we're good to go. And I say cloud is not a job. That's what I was trying to explain earlier. It's not just a role where you say, okay, you're a software developer, your job is to write code. Cloud is a little bit different because it cuts across a lot of departments within a company, and you're going to be involved fully. You understand? You're going to be involved fully in what the company does. And I like it when people say, well, cloud architects are in that way. I'm a business analyst, I'm a product manager. I don't need to worry. Nope, 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 nope. It's already coming in. I mean, these are job postings on LinkedIn. This is a technical business analyst role, and you can see what they put on number 8. AWS experience is highly desirable, right? And I like you to look at it this way. Put yourself in the shoes of a small and medium scale company, 50 people. You're moving to the cloud or you're in the cloud, right? And you have 2 cloud architects, 2 product managers. And the company's cash flow is not working very well, right? Which means, you know what happens, right? It's time to start downsizing. One of the ways, CIOs, CTOs, and CIOs use when they're downsizing and they're trying to rehire, because it's funny, they'll downsize and you see that role again. Why? It's because they're trying to combine things together. So they're going to let go of one cloud architect, let go of one product manager, and go for a product manager with a cloud experience. See, they still need those 2 things. The problem is they don't have 200K for 2 roles, but they will gladly pay 150 for someone with both knowledges. The same thing will happen with Scrum. The same thing happen with business analysts. And so because we are seeing that, and because cloud is permeable, we say everyone can actually do that. Draw cloud knowledge to what you do today, right? And just give yourself that opportunity, to be able to stay at that job, apply for new jobs that are coming out. And if you really think you want to come into cloud, that's where you come out fully to become a solution architect or a cloud architect. But right where you are, please, please make sure that you bring the cloud closer to you, right? You want to be in a Scrum meeting and they're talking about EC2 and talking about stuff, and you're just like, at some point you have to ask yourself, I need to learn this thing. I need to understand what these guys are saying, right? You're a business analyst, you have to write all these functional requirements, but you don't even understand where what you're writing is going to be built. You're going to lose half of the conversation. As a product manager, you're writing a product, you're marketing a product that you don't understand what is being built around, where it's being built. You can't fully contribute. And that's it, to be honest, right? So we need to start bringing this closer to us. Is it a new thing entirely? No, it is the same thing. I'm going to talk about the same software you're talking about, but instead of putting it in the basement of the office or our headquarters, it is just now in the cloud. And we just need to understand some few things about the cloud, and we can say, oh, I get it. This is what they're talking about, right? So the foundational knowledge is key. I mentioned these are the three big guys that we have. Microsoft, you read about Azure. Google, Google Digital Leader is one of the ways to start, and AWS Cloud Practitioner. There's a question here, and if you don't ask, I'll ask to say, well, where should we go? If all of these three big guys have certifications, do I have to do the three of them? Well, what if I do Google and I don't get a job? I'm only seeing AWS. What if I do AWS? Um, I'll say let data drive us. Why? AWS still has about 35% of the market. AWS is the biggest and is the first out of these three, which means you probably see more AWS roles than Google and Microsoft roles. Now, that is not always cast in stone. Why? Because it's possible that in Alberta, for example, Microsoft has more business. So you probably see more Azure roles popping up. And this is the secret. The cloud is the same. It's like a motor car. A motor car, we have a Ferrari, Lamborghini, Toyota. They are just cars. They move. The design, though, for everyone is different. So the idea of infrastructure, the idea of databases, the idea of security is the same, theoretically. The application is what these guys have done differently. So I did my AWS certification, Solution Architect, Associate, and Professional in 2019. And then in 2021, actually in 2019, and I did apply for Microsoft at the time. I applied to Google, I applied to AWS, I applied to a lot of companies then, and newsflash, I didn't get any of the roles. Sad, sad, sad. 2 years later, Google called me back, and I was surprised when they called me back. I'm like, what's happening? And like, well, you know what? I don't know if you have any HR professional here. Why do people do like that? Anyway, let's leave that one. Like, you know what? You were a very strong candidate the last time. I said, like 2 years, 2 years, 2 months ago. Do you guys even understand? Well, I really don't know what happened, but would like you to try again. I was I didn't know I was angry that they did not pick me in 2019. It was on that call that I knew that I was angry. Because when they say no, you don't have anybody to fire. Finally, somebody is calling me. I feel like it's time to, you know, burn out all my energy, on there. But I didn't answer on the first call. I went back and then I went to read stats, and somebody, there's a stat that actually said that about 30 something or 40 something people get into Google after their second interview. So that, wow, okay, let me not be angry. And then when my wife asked me who was calling, I said a recruiter from Google. And so what are you doing? I said, they didn't pick me 2 years ago. And I said, go, let them pick you now. Let them pick you now. And she was happy when the paycheck came. I was happy I got the paycheck too. So that's why I'm here talking to you to say the cloud is good. Now, not everybody will work for Google, yes, but even when you don't work for Google, you work for, companies around Google. There is no cloud role at intermediate that you're going to go out today that is not 6 figures. Close your eyes, it's a 6 figure role. If they lowball you less than 100, it's because they want to go for foundational, and that's what they're looking for. But they're looking for a core cloud architect. It's a guaranteed six-figure role. If you move around sales, you get bonus capital. That's a guaranteed 200, 250. If you eventually make it to senior, you can call your shots at 300, and that's in Canada. Flip that to US. Flip that to US, and you can start realizing how much potential it is. However, will it just start after 6 months of learning the cloud? No, it is a journey, right? You have to be in cloud, come into cloud and be in the cloud, right? If you want to be a cloud architect. If you are going to use it with what you have, it's a bargaining chip because now you're going to spend your time to go and learn these extra things. But what will happen now is when they're talking about EC tools and infrastructures and stuff, you're you're in that contribution. You're contributing to it, and everybody's noticing that. Amanda, do you know more about the cloud? And then you'll be like, yeah. I can host stuff on S3. I can do stuff, and then you notice, the environment we are in. All somebody has to do one day is say, we need somebody to host this thing on S3, and they say Amanda can do it, and then you actually come and do it. And the next performance review, please ask for that 30K raise straight up. No time, no time, right? Because you really did some things behind the scene. And that's one of the things I've seen with friends, who have added this to their journey. This is AWS. Don't let this scare you. I don't even have half of the certification that is on here. So don't let this scare you like you have to go through all of this. What I really wanted to point out is the last thing, the last slide, or the one on the far right where it says foundational. And you can see two things there, the cloud practitioner, foundational, and the AI practitioner, which just came out 2 months ago. And that is also to tell you how big AI is getting, right? And if AWS is putting an AI practitioner certification out there, it's just telling you that it's a matter of time before job description starts saying AI blah 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 is highly recommended, right? And that will cut across everything we do. Because as a business analyst, it means you have to start thinking about AI. As a product manager, you have to start thinking about how AI will affect the product. It is not going to be an outsourced department to tech or AI team. Every one of us needs to start thinking about it. So for you, the foundational is where you want to start, right? Being a cloud practitioner, whether you're in sales or like I said, in any of the, tech related roles that you're in. And if you're totally new, that is where to start. Because after you get your cloud practitioner certification, the lingua franca, the jargon, the language we speak in cloud, you understand. And that means immediately someone says something, you know at least what they want to do. It's okay if you don't know how to do it. The fact that you even understand, you're already ahead of 50% of people who are coming into the cloud space. All right, let's talk about something that I talked about earlier, but it's out there. Do we have jobs in cloud? The answer is yes. And I already said it pays well. At least have earned in the cloud 3 different jobs. So I know. Even as a consultant now, I know, right? Running a company in cloud, I know. But just going onto LinkedIn and just, starting cloud computing in Canada, US, and, worldwide, you can see. Now, of course, the question is this a lot or not? I can't judge. The question is, it exists. It is out there. And this is just cloud computing. So maybe we can start searching for business analyst, business cloud analyst, product cloud manager, whatever combination will come in the future, they're coming. And on this side, you can see the minimum per hour that you have for these roles, 90 per hour to 120. This is 115. This is even US. So if this USD converted to, to CAD, 175 to 200 for a senior, you can say, wow, oh, when will I become a senior? Well, in the next 2, 3 years, you can become a senior, times that by 2, it's something to work for. If you're coming into this field because you think they say there is money in there, I'm confirming that there's money in there. Is there work to be done though? Yes. So that's why I said it's a niche, it's available, it does pay well. And I'm just going to wrap up so I can take your questions. Whether you're enhancing your current profession with cloud skills, or you want to transition into cloud, I can guarantee you, at least for the next 6 years, I can tell you this for sure. You are in an industry that is defining the future, right? It took me 2 years and 2 months before I got a full cloud role. But in those 2 years and 2 months, I started a company, right? I worked with people in the cloud. I continued to learn. I never stopped, and it did not fail me. It did not fail me. I studied computer science. I know how to code. I really don't code again today because I've moved over to the cloud. I could have stayed writing software code and call myself a senior software developer today, but I'm glad that I chose cloud and I'm here. So if you're adding cloud to what you have, please try and do that. It is a sure path to be relevant in the future of businesses. I'm not even going to say technology, the future of businesses that you and I are going into. So it is in your hands now, guys. It is in your hands. Oh, yes, I said it. Six figure. Sure. Sure. Minimum. Minimum. If they don't give you, talk to Wendy. Wendy knows how to negotiate more. It knows how to negotiate more. They will get you that. And just so you know, we have a free cohort launchpad starting actually this weekend. This weekend. So please, do you have this link? I want to put it in the chat. It's a 6 weeks program. We're gonna teach you the introduction to AWS for free. So if you're still thinking about it, come, let's discuss, let's learn, let's see how you can add these extra skills to yourself at no cost but your time. Thank you.
Fantastic. Please, round of applause. I want to see applause. So you know how I like to see my reactions. Please, round of applause, round of applause, round of applause for Michael. That was a wonderful session you gave to us. That was just I don't know what else to say. I have no words. Guys, how are we feeling? How are we feeling? How are we feeling? I want to see the hearts. I want to see the applauses. I want to see everything because he has done an amazing job to open our eyes to the potential of being a part of the cloud industry, right? Thank you so much, Michael. That was eye-opening for me personally. It was eye-opening. Please, let's see after this call. I please I need to speak with you.
No, don't speak with me. Speak with me here now. Let everybody hear.
Okay, no problem. I will ask my question. But first of all, I think it's at this point we can take questions, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay, for sure, for sure. So we do have one question. We do have a question here. And this is from Easy Peasy. Easy Peasy is Easy Peasy. And she's asking, what do you consider the top three risks to look out for when a company is moving from the legacy system to a cloud hosted system? So it's two questions in one. So that's the first question. And then the second one is, what certifications can help a BA in this type of project? So you are a BA on a project
Okay.
where a company is trying to move over, they're trying to migrate to the
From
cloud.
legacy to the cloud.
Yes.
Yep.
And then what certifications would help you to, of course, execute your role in that project?
Okay, so let's start with the second one. Just having your AWS cloud practitioner is enough, right? Because as a BA, your job is to, work with the apps. You're not the builder, you're not the writer, but you want to get in the conversation. So your AWS practitioner would do that for you.
Yeah.
The way I talk about the certifications, the practitioner gives you the foundational information. And really what it is, this is a car can drive like this, it can turn like this, it can do like that. You don't have to understand how the engine works. But if you talk about the car, you know what the car is, you know what it can do, you know how it's useful, when it's useful, and all of that. And that's what the practitioner does. For you, that's what you need to know at this level with the cloud. Add that to what you do. So that when you're in the room and they're talking about, okay, well, we need this application to go, to be on this server, and they're saying it's going to do auto scaling, it's going to do all of these, jargons that they start putting out. It's not strange to you. You understand it, but you're not the one doing that. So now you can build and say, yes, let's do that. No, let's not do that because you know what it is. Now, I hope that answers question two. Question one, for a company that is going from legacy, core legacy to the cloud, the top three risks. Number one, in no particular order, if they don't have a strong team, the cloud will become very expensive very fast. Why? You're going to keep paying for your legacy system and you're still paying for the cloud. So if you don't finish your transition on time, you're going to be paying for two systems. Now, depending on how big your company is, that is where they'll sack CIOs, sack CTOs, because now 2 years in, you have workloads here, you have workloads here. You don't know whether to go forward or to go back, and you're burning
Yeah.
cash on both sides.
Yes.
That is one big thing that I see. The second thing is expertise, right? If you don't have the right expertise to go to the cloud, you're going to choose the wrong things. And please don't blame us in the cloud. For example, AWS has about 200 services, Google about 140. There's a lot of services, and there are choices to be made. So when we say lack of expertise is if they don't choose the right things, then now again you get into the cloud. Let's even assume you finish your transition into the cloud and then you're fully in the cloud now and things are breaking. It took a while for everything in legacy to work perfectly. Now your team, so that two level of expertise. Number one is the team that is migrating you. And number two is the team that will operate when you go to the cloud, which means there has to be a company shift, right? Some people still believe in legacy and now they've moved to the cloud, right? A lot of things have to happen. Don't get surprised. I've seen situations where you have to cut off the team and go and hire new people because you need people with the cloud first knowledge now because you have decided that we're going forward, right? And maybe the third thing, that we can say is a risk, will just be people. People don't like change, right? People don't like change. I have, somebody who built the legacy for 15 years. You're telling him he's going to the cloud is redundant, and it's going to be politics in and here, or should we go or should we not go? So I'll put it like that to say cost, expertise, and people are going to be your three biggest risks.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. That's absolutely true. Like I can totally relate. When you walk in a place and then they tell you that you're going to start using the new tool now, using the use of everybody's like, what's going on now? What was wrong with the one we were using before? There was nothing wrong with this, so why you want to change, So
You will
that's
be
that
like,
that
you want to go back to start learning that one.
exactly. So that change management aspect of things is really important because that would drive the whole process. What's the essence of bringing it if the people that are going to use it don't exactly understand?
But Amanda, let me put it this way. So,
Yeah.
when I was at Google, I was a customer engineer, and part of my job is to go sell clouds to CIOs,
Mm.
and C levels. Now, there's no way. I go to meet a CTO or a CEO, and I ask them, how much do you spend, running your warehouses and stuff in a year? And they tell me, well, it takes like 10, 20 million. And I tell them I can cut that into a quarter. I tell them I can cut their yearly bill from 20 million to 6 million. There's no way they're not going to sign that deal. Now, at that level, they just want to cut out 14 million so that they can make profit. Now they have to make a whole lot of decisions that will cascade. So when it gets to you, when they say you are learning the cloud, you are angry. Why do we have to learn this one? From the top, these guys are on cost
Yes.
cutting. They need to save. They
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
investors and shareholders to
Yes.
report revenue to, and the world is going there anyway. It sounds like a cool
Exactly.
move. They will take it.
For sure, for sure. That's very true. That's so true. Thank you so much. So easy peasy. I hope you are okay now. I hope he was able to answer your questions. So the next one, another one we have is coding required when transitioning to cloud practitioner role?
Capital NO. You don't have
Mm-hmm.
to. You don't have to learn how to code. Now, is it needed in some things? Yes. But your question is, do you really need it? Like, if you don't know how to code, does that mean you cannot? No, that's not it, right?
Yeah.
Everything that I've also said earlier, infrastructure, security, all of these things, the way the cloud is built, it's just a new knowledge, right?
Mm-hmm.
The way AWS, Google built the cloud, they are building it not for software developers. They're building it for business guys and employees who are able to just understand that if I do these 4 clicks, this configuration will go.
Yeah.
It's not built for you to understand. There are people who are building the backend. Yours is to be able to use it. And that's why it's not hard, but it's just new knowledge,
Yeah.
right? It's not hard, it's just new knowledge. And once you know how to do it, that's it. Say, okay, this is how we operate a new server now. This is how we do text now. This is how we do storage now, and it's just learning the new interface, learning the new software, and you're good to go.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Sounds good. Now, we don't have any. Okay, we don't have anyone
Okay,
from the
so there
audience.
are some questions that came to me, and
Okay.
yeah, so because of time, we are trying to keep to time. When we say 1 hour, we want to spend that 1 hour, so we don't want to exceed that. I know there are a couple of questions, but we are going to be taking just 3 more questions. And please, for those that, if we are not able to answer your question at this point, we are going to drop an email in the chat. Send it to the email and we'll get it across to you for sure. All right. So this particular question is coming from Gerard. And he's asking, what is the benefit of cloud computing to carbon footprint?
To carbon footprint?
Yeah, to carbon footprint.
Oh, congrats. Nice question. Nice question,
Yeah.
actually. The last 5-6 years, the cloud hyperscalers, that is the Microsoft, Google, and AWS, have been building data centers that are eco-friendly. So Google, for example, has some data centers that run totally on solar, right? So with the amount of power that that data center will be generating, it is all eco-friendly, energy. Now, there's a way we are able to, bring that back into companies on, I think it's the ECG or, something we calculate on energy. So as a company, I'm able to report to the government that my business is supporting carbon footprint if I create applications in those eco-friendly data centers. Google AWS will tell you how much you're contributing to carbon footprint based on the workload you are running. So let's say I run, 1,000 servers. If I was running it on a typical data center, maybe I'm supposed to be burning, I don't know, 1,000 CO2, blah, blah, blah. They're going to tell you are saving that by, being on this side of the fence. And all of them are trying to do that now to create more eco-friendly data centers to support what is coming in the future.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Michael. So the next one is from Nii. And Nii wants to know if the cloud computing certifications will be significant for someone without a computer or IT academic background.
Yes, if you're coming into the cloud. So we've talked about 2 sets of people today, or 3. Number 1, you're not in tech at all, you're somewhere else, but you want to add tech to what you do, you can add cloud knowledge to what you're doing. You're not even in tech, you're a chemistry person. Add cloud to it and you'll be surprised at the opportunities that come around. Or you're fully in tech and you want to change entirely, add cloud to it. You saw the certification stage that I showed you, and that shows you can keep mapping yourself out. So you can start with the cloud practitioner, and then you can become a full solution architect, or you just branch into data, branch into AI as your interest grows into it.
I see that. All right. So the very last one that we are going to be taking for today is from Justin. And Justin is saying, thank you so much, Michael, for the wonderful presentation. As a project manager, what is the best way to transition to become a cloud project manager? The best way
to transition
to become a cloud project manager.
Well, maybe you should start by registering for our Launchpad.
Yes, exactly.
I think
so. But yeah, to answer your question, your cloud certification, your AWS cloud practitioner will be your first base, right? It will be your own first base because you're a project manager, right? So if I drop a new full tech cloud project on your lab, you don't want people running circles around you if you don't even know how to price what you're doing. And part of the things you learn as a practitioner is pricing. Cloud pricing is very, very important. Should I do this? Should I do this? How much does it cost? It's part of the big things you're going to learn. The people you need. I mean, you're a project manager, right? Time, resource, and what else do you guys, tackle? All those things, you'll learn those around the cloud, and you can apply it to what you're doing currently and what a new cloud project would look like.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Michael. That was really insightful. And I love how you broke everything down It's really, really important, you know, trying to move into one career to another. It's not an easy thing, but again, it's doable, right? It takes resilience and also passion. When you have the passion and you have the zeal, you want to move forward. You don't have anything to deter you. You just have to move, right? And these are the right direction that one can take if you're thinking of moving into cloud computing. And yeah, you've said it all, and we want to appreciate you. I'm going to give it back to Adama while we wrap things up. Okay?
Thank you so much. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Michael. It was such a pleasure having you here today. I'm very sure everybody here is not the same as when they joined the call. I'm very sure you're definitely more aware of the basics of cloud computing, and there's definitely an interest that has been sparked for sure, during this session. Thank you so much, Michael. It was, thank you for sharing your insights. Thank you for sharing, your experiences. It was such an engaging session. Please, I want my reactions. Everybody, round of applause again for Michael. Round of applause. Give me reactions. Give me the hearts. Give me the claps. We want to see, because it's really not easy, and he has taken his time out to come here and really share all these valuable insights with us. So, going forward, of course, like we've already said, if you are not in the WinTech community and you want to join, we have posted all the links in the chat to register and be a part of us. If you want to continue on this cloud computing journey, of course, definitely the Launchpad is one that, it would be a good step in the right direction. I think I'm going to join that Launchpad too, so I'm joining it. Six figures is on our mind.
Of course, you cannot miss
it. So, I mean, if we have any questions, please feel free to reach out to the WinTech community, and we can reach out to Michael as well. Michael, do you want to maybe drop your LinkedIn link so people can connect with you? If for some reason they want to probably ask you some other questions relating to something else, they can always, connection, networking is definitely another important thing that we always take away from our WinTech events, and we are really honored to have people like yourself come down here to us. So please do share your LinkedIn so people can connect with you, and then we can build the community, build everything over here. In the absence of anything else, I would say thank you all for joining the call. Thank you all for being a part of this event. And the recording of the call will be on our YouTube channel. Is that correct, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the recording will be there. If you want to go back again to just take your time to listen to everything Michael has shared with us, trust me, everything was really valuable, I must say. Okay, so that's it from me and from the WinTech team, I believe. Thank you all so much. Have a great night. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming. Have a great night, and we'll see you in the next session. Okay, stay tuned. WinTech has a lot coming your way. You want to be a part of everything. We have so much planned out for the rest of the year. So, all right, bye everyone. Bye. Thank you, Michael.
Bye everyone, and thank you so much for coming on board.
All right then. Bye.